Been a while, huh? Um, haven't done a whole lot since the last video, except that was out testing a couple times since I put the head back together, and the bike was running pretty good. I noticed it started acting kind of weird the last trip out, and it was smoking a little more than normal, and I thought at first maybe the scavenge pump was starting to go bad, and just wasn't getting the oil out of the turbo. So I had it out at the shop. The bike sat for a little bit, and then had everything out at the shop and decided I was just going to pull plugs, do a compression test, kind of just go through everything. And when I had pulled the plugs out, I don't know if it'll focus on that. Ooh, come on, focus. I don't know, you can see it good enough, I guess. We're missing the end electrode on that spark plug. And I don't think it's tune-up related. I wasn't really leaning on it, and the other three were fine. This one's wet with oil, and somehow that was my smoke issue as well. Well, that's not like it's any good anyway. So I have oil in number 4 cylinder is what the issue is, and my gut tells me that since I had the cylinder head all apart and valve seals, everything were out of it, is that I might have tore a valve seal and not realized it. And I think I might be getting oil coming down from the head dripping down the valve stem, because if I look down in the intake port, I can see the head of the valve is oily, so I think that's where my oil issue is. Not a big deal, and I probably got lucky that it just burnt that end electrode off. So hot oil, boost, lots of heat. That was the fuse, so thank God it was just that plug. Even now if I do a compression test on the motor, everything still pumps fine. And leak down was actually good too. So what I'm going to do this weekend, there's actually a race going on today that I was going to go to, but I did not want to run the bike with this issue going on. So it's whatever, it's like 10 o'clock on Saturday. My plan is to get this motor out, tore down, do the valve seals on it. I got a head gasket right here. And I got the couple white parts here. I love their stuff. So I'm gonna go through and fix that, and then while I have time, I'm gonna pull all the bottom end apart. And I haven't had this bottom end apart since well, this is the second season on it, so it'd be 2 winters ago is when I put it together. So I'm gonna go through and double check bearings on this thing, and I don't have a reason to. I haven't seen nothing in the oil this whole time, but I got it apart, and if I do it now, freshen it up now, there's not a whole lot of racing left this year, I don't think. Things are just getting weird in the world, so I might get out testing a bunch yet, but that'd be about it. So I figure, what the hell, I'm gonna try to do a weekend refresh on this thing. Nothing's busted, we just got a couple little issues to address, and the plan is to tear it down Saturday, get some parts cleaned, possibly get the bottom end back together tonight. And then on Sunday, we're going to do, this is my plan now, Sunday we're going to try to do all the top end stuff, reset the cams, put it in, and fire it up by Sunday afternoon, because I want to go testing next Thursday, because there is a race next weekend that I'm going to be at come hell or high water. It's the MKE Real Street Takeover. That's the event that I won the last couple months ago, their spring event. So that's the plan, so let's dig into this thing. So this is currently where I'm at. About, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours into the project. I've been working a little bit slower than normal today. Not gonna lie, it's beautiful outside, and I really want to go riding a supermoto around, but I need to get this thing done. So at some point, I'm gonna cut out for lunch. It's getting close to noon. So at some point, I'll cut out for lunch, and then get this thing, get cranking into the evening. So what I'm going to do here is, before I drop the motor out of this thing, I always pull the oil pan, and then that way if there's anything in the oil pan, I don't tip the motor over and then drop it all into the motor somewhere. So if there's any issues going on, you always see it in the pan. I'm not expecting to find anything this go around. It's just a habit I get into. So I'll drop the pan, let it sit there, look everything over, and then I'll put it back on so that I can at least set the motor down and kind of keep it together. And then we'll tear it down from there. So I got the bike off the lift, sitting over there out of the way. Started tearing the top end apart. Got the cam caps and the cams out of it. Just started to loosen up all the head studs. So I'll pull the head out and then we'll start looking and see what's going on. Well, we definitely got an oil in number 4 issue. She's a little dirtier than the rest. Just a little bit of carbon on there. But then that kind of matches up to what I'm seeing over here. Seals, not too bad, not too bad. Yeah. Got some carbon and some oil going on. So I'm gonna pull everything apart on this and then go through all the seals, make sure everything's, or not make sure everything's okay. They're coming out anyways because I already got new seals to put in. And then just double check, make sure nothing bad is going on. But I think it's going to be as simple as I fucked up a valve seal. So let's get it tore apart. This is fine. This is all, it's all fine. It'll be fine. This is where we're at. I already went through and did, the cylinder head is done. So new valve seals, double checked. I did a light lapping on the valves just to check everything out there. Cleaned everything up. The bottom side is all nice and fresh, ready to go. There was no surprises in there other than what looked like the seals that were leaking. All this on the other hand, I wanted to get into the bottom end and check bearings because this motor's been together for a while, and I was pretty freaking excited at what I found. Everything looks great. Like all these bearings, all my mains, perfect. All the rods, had them apart, perfect. But the one cylinder that got hot from burning oil, here's the piston out of that cylinder. If you look real close, you can see there's a valley here. Let's see if I can show you how this looks. It got hot enough with the oil in that cylinder that it sagged the center of the piston all the way over to the try to show it here. It's not working real good, but that, you can see it now. You can see the stress lines in here, but the center of this piston is actually sagging from getting hot, burning the oil. So I'm down a piston. However, these are the same pistons I ran when it was a nitrous motor, and I melted a lot of those. Not entirely, but enough that I had a couple of sets, and I also have another piston that's in really good shape that I'm putting on. So me saving parts saved the day. So I got a good piston to replace my saggy top mess here. So you can look in here, you can see bearings after 2 seasons of running. They're going right back in. So I was pretty thrilled to see that. So other than the oil in the cylinder mishap, everything looks good. I'm pretty happy. So I'll throw this all back together, and with any luck, we'll have her running tomorrow. But right now, I haven't eaten anything all day, so it's time to go get some tacos, I think. Taco Bell, of course, because the drive-thru's easy. And then I'll come back out later and I'll put the bottom half of the case, or actually that's the mid case. We'll put that on there, get my main studs, everything all torqued back down. Then I can put the trans and stuff in and put that other bottom case back together. And with any luck, I'm hoping that maybe I'll be to the point where this is ready to go in the bike tonight, but I'll do it tomorrow. But for now, we'll go get some food and we'll come back and carry on with all this. So it's been a while since I've done a bumpy truck video, but I took a little break. I left, I went and got some food. I needed some brake clean and some rags anyways. So stopped home, hung out a little bit. I actually started kind of dozing off, taking a nap. But it's 7:30 now, heading back out to the garage. Gonna hopefully get the motor buttoned up to at least the point where I can put it back in the bike tomorrow, and then that gives me, all day tomorrow to do all the loose ends and connections and fluids and all that business to get it running again. So let's go back to work. So what I'm going to do now is, now that I got the the mid case on and the crank is captured, crank bearings are all set, is I didn't want to flip the motor over to put the piston in with the crank hanging, so I got that situated. So now I'll take my new piston, or my new used to me piston and rod, bang it down in that hole, connect it to the crank, then I can flip this whole thing over again and I can do all the trans work, put all that stuff back in, and keep rolling. So far so good.
That's ACS show?
Yep. No, in all time. We're coming up on our 2-year anniversary.
No, I know, but will it be this year? No.
Yeah, of course. It's going to be this year.
Nice plan.
No, it'd be before that. Because remember, I'm doing, sometimes I'm doing 2 a week as well. With the call-ins. There was no call-ins this week. I've been busy. Nick's been busy, so the call-ins will probably be 3 times a month at most. So, but probably should have, because we had the driven Premier, which we're gonna get into. But we will be back hopefully next week with call-ins. Nick, Joseph, you should join the call-ins. It's been a while since you've been on.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, maybe we do that next week. I think Nick is going to Wyoming for it. So, good stuff. What's up? Shout out to all the men and RC squad from around the world. Thank you guys for all the love. None of this is possible without you guys. Hashtag NNRC. Thank you for all the support. Shout out to all of our patrons and Patreon. You guys help keep these bills paid. I greatly appreciate that. If you wish to become a patron of the podcast, you can go ahead and go to patreon.com/NNRC or something. I never get that address right. I should probably have it up in front of me. but it is always in the written description of the podcast and on my post. So, every little bit helps, man. And, we're trying to do big things so that the Mermaid RC podcast, racing starting up. Hopefully we can travel and do some more coverage of racing. And everything goes back to normal and I can travel freely. So that all helps towards that. Shout out to all of the companies, man, that support us and advertise on this podcast. Big help. Can't do without these guys. Shout out to RCMX Online, Techno RC, JP Racing, obviously. Shout out to my JP Racing people as well. On again, and it looks like we're going to be on for a little while, so that's good to see about that. At least to the end of the year, I'm happy about that. Shout out to Rob's Oil for all your Amps Oil products. I was talking to Rob the other day. He's super happy. He really enjoyed the stories with Adam Lewis 2 episodes ago.
Since then, I kind of fall out apart with it. I kind of support Hart because of him, and I was introduced to him.
So here's where we're at. Trans is in, cases are all together. I'm gonna start putting the cam chain in and the starter drive and everything, clutch cover back on. Still gotta get the head on yet, but obviously I gotta do all this stuff first. Making good ground, starting to get a little bit tired though. So I'm gonna keep going with my plan. pulled it off. That guy's ready to go back in that chassis. Pretty happy with how well everything went, which means the first time out with this thing, I'm probably going to blow it all to smithereens and just boom. But everything went pretty good. I wasn't filming a whole bunch of stuff. I was doing the cylinder head stuff. Honestly, I was just getting tired and just trying to work through. I was listening to some music that would probably be copyrighted and get me in trouble. So I didn't film a bunch of the cylinder head stuff. I just reset the cams, rechecked valve lash, made sure everything was cool still, and then just bolted everything together. So last thing I'm going to do tonight before I go home is I'm going to put that right back in there, and then that's it. I'm going to go home and go to bed. I'll hook everything up in the morning and then get it running tomorrow sometime. So let's plunk that sucker in. So I decided to run the clock right up to midnight tonight. Motor is in. Everything is actually connected, except for I still have to do the turbo kit. So all I got to do is put the turbo header, turbo, and then run the charge tube. But everything else is connected. So tomorrow should be a pretty easy day. It's Sunday and I'm back out at the shop bright and early. That's a lie. It's like 10:30. Yesterday was a long day and I had something to do midday today, so I figured if I pushed yesterday a little bit long, I could sleep in a little bit, and then midday I got something I got to go take care of, and then I'll be out here working on the bike more this afternoon. Man, that sun is bright. Holy buckets. But yeah, so bike's farther along than I thought it was going to be, so that, I didn't have to worry about getting up early to come out here, work on it, just to stop, go do what I'm going to do midday, and then come back out and restart everything, kind of get the motivation going again. So, slept in a little bit. Now I'm going to go ride around. I was talking about my Supermoto. I got that little fella there. So I'm going to ride that around a little bit, and then I'll give you a little quick peek at this little guy here. So here's my other street beater. It's a 01 DRZ 400. I actually bought it a couple months back, and I bought it with the dirt tires on it. So it's actually a DRZ 400S, so it's the street legal dual sport. And then I bought, after I purchased it, I found on Facebook Marketplace, I found the Supermoto setup for it. I changed out some other things on it, farkled it out, and yeah, been ripping around on this thing for a little while. This is the 4th DRZ I've owned, and ever since I got rid of the first one I had, I kind of regretted selling it. The two that I got after that were just dirt bike versions and not street legal, so it was pretty hard to only go riding trails when they're so much fun to ride. So I sold those off, and then I found this one for a pretty good price. It's an 01, it's only got, well, it's 4,000 miles on it now, so it's pretty fresh yet. But it's a freaking blast. Last weekend I had the dirt wheels on it. We were up north Wisconsin riding trails already. And yeah, so this is how I rip it around on the street. And then hopefully we'll go ride trails in the next couple weeks again. I'll put the dirt tires back on. But for those of you that thought I only obsess over drag bikes, I do. But this was just fun. So I'm gonna go rip around. I'm done bagging off for the day. I went and did what I had to do. Parked the bike. Went and grabbed some cooling system additive and some water, and then cleaned the turbo and the header and everything all up. And now it's time to bolt this stuff together. So it's pretty hot out here, so I got the fan going. So if you hear that guy in the background at all, just ignore that. It's hot. So yeah, get the turbo kit put on and hopefully get this thing fired up shortly. So the trick to getting all this bullshit put on a 1000 is there is no trick. It sucks. But you gotta struggle through it. So here's where we're at. I gotta run. I forgot to get fuel, but I'm gonna go run, get dinner, grab fuel, and then I'll come back and get it fired up. But we got cooling system is full and bled. Oil, I primed it. I gapped spark plugs, put spark plugs in. I got some new coils I'm trying. I need to run to my work, and my charge tube, it's always had a little bit of a weird angle up at the top here, and when I tighten the V-band clamps down, it kind of stresses everything in a weird direction. So I'm actually going to take this charge tube, this guy, I'm going to take this to work, and I'm going to relieve this flange, and it's just got to be at a slightly different angle. So I'm going to relief cut it, move it, and then I'll TIG weld it back together. So I'm going to try to get that done tonight too yet. Other than that, I think we're about ready to go. So I'm going to run out of here and eat, grab what I need, do what I gotta do, and head back. Shaky truck video number 2. It is now 20 to 7 on Sunday night. I just got done, I ran home and ate a little bit. I got fuel now, just got done welding the charge tube back together. I had modified that angle a little bit. But I'm heading out to my shop, and we just had some storms roll through. And so far the power is out at all the intersections I've gone through. So we'll see if I even have power at my shop yet. Well, I think it's time to fire it up. Still got to put gas in, but everything else is good. I got my charge tube is back on there. That little angle cut that I made worked out pretty slick. Everything's buttoned up down there. What else I have to do? I think just fuel, and yeah, everything else should be good. Let's fuel it up and fire it up. Well, it does bike things. I know I said I wanted to have it like back together and loaded it in the trailer and ready to test Thursday, but it runs. I checked for leaks, warmed it up, shut it off, warmed it up, shut it off. I ran it 3-4 times. Make sure it restarted hot, all that business. Check for oil leaks. Put it on a 2-step once, just to make sure it would build on the 2-step, the commanded boost. Make sure I didn't have some goofy non-sealing issue with the charge tube. And I'm winded because I just manually pumped up my bike stand here, so I'm out of breath and it's hot in here. So I think I'm gonna call it good for the weekend. I went from a bike with more or less a hurt motor, minorly hurt, to a bearing inspection, tear down, did looked at the bearings, swapped out one piston, did valve seals. What else? Actually, I reset the clutch. Not reset. Reset. I just double checked it was still, everything was good from the last time I had it out. I don't know. Pretty happy with how the weekend went. It was a lot of work. It was a good weekend to just chill in the garage, basically. And I even got to squeak in a little supermoto ride. So don't forget to treat yourself once in a while. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably going to be an extended version of basically an entire 2-day weekend of working on this gem here. So thanks for watching.